Welcome to Loco Gringo, Mexico, the place where we transform a tourist into a traveler, because you deserve to see more of the world than just what's in a guidebook. Each week, we talk with amazing locals who know the Riviera Maya and Yucatan like only a local can, and get them to share their tips and insights on the local scene, culture, and cuisine from a local's perspective. So, pour yourself a margarita, grab a comfy chair, and let's get the show going.
Hi everyone, this is Kay Walton with Loco Gringo. Thanks for joining us today. Well, we have the opportunity to talk to someone who actually was living in Merida, Mexico before he came to Tulum. And of course, we all fall in love with the magic of Tulum. And today's guest is one of those people. So he's going to share with us his journey to Tulum and some of his most favorite places, a few even I didn't know about, which I can't wait to try out. So let's get the show going. Well, everybody, I'm real excited to introduce to you today Ryan Ellnuer. Now, Ryan is a Buckeyes fan because he's originally from Ohio, and he has made his way to the Riviera Maya. I think he went by way of the West Coast, if my memory serves. But let me introduce you, Ryan. Welcome to our show.
Thank you for having me.
So Ryan, tell us how you wound up from, Youngstown, Ohio, what you were doing there, and how you managed to wind up in Tulum, Mexico.
Well, it's been quite a journey. Initially, I went to Ohio State and studied architecture, and after I graduated, I ended up going to the West Coast to LA to go to grad school. And so I finished up grad school at Woodbury University out in Burbank, and I started working with the artists in the local area. And one of the conditions of the job is to move to Mexico. So the first interview, he said, "Would you move to Mexico?" And I said, "Yeah." I knew nothing about Mexico, but he was a really great artist, and it seemed like a great opportunity. So I worked for him a couple of weeks in LA, and then eventually I moved to Merida because he was transitioning to the studio there. So I moved to Merida, and I lived there for a year and a half working with him. We did some great projects. A lot of his work gets shown in New York and overseas. So it was a great way to kind of get introduced to Mexico. Instead of coming on my own, I kind of had a guide, a network of people to land with. And I was there for a year and a half in Merida, and then I ended up leaving that job and coming to Tulum. And so I've been in Tulum for about a year and a half now, just kind of doing what people do when they come to Tulum, kind of see what life has next, And so I kind of took 6 months off just to enjoy Tulum. And then eventually I got back into architecture, working with local contractors, building homes. And most recently, I just started my own design build. So right now I'm just kind of working, developing a company and, seeing what Tulum has to offer. It's a lot of opportunity here. So I'm just kind of taking things there as they come.
Wow, that's incredible. Now, it must be a big change. Now, granted, Merida would love to have the beach, but they have a lot of culture. Right. Was it a tough transition from going to city life, essentially in the colonial town of Merida, to being here in Tulum?
Well, I never actually planned to come to Tulum. Tulum kind of pulled me. I think that's what Tulum does. And when I was working in Merida, I would come to Tulum on the weekends or just for the beach because, Merida does get pretty hot. And, of course, the beach here is amazing. And the more I would come, I just thought, maybe I should come live here. And I just kind of ended up here. So I think the transition was easy because it was something I was just compelled to do. And the beach is great. And the more that you're in Tulum, you kind of forget about the city. It is a different pace. So the different pace took some getting used to. But, Tulum has these different jewels, and it's changing as a city, too, to become more city-like. So I think it's a good balance here.
No, Tulum's definitely growing into its own little mecca of sorts. And I definitely love both Tulum and Merida. We have some great friends out there. And, let me ask you, I find it interesting, what kind of artist were you working for? I mean, when you mention artists, are you like working for an oil or a watercolor artist in LA and then to work in his studio in Merida, or what type of art was it?
Well, he's a sculptor, so he does art installations. He's very known for his lamps, like furniture. So it really was more of a design job. So he does anything from furniture to actual architecture and houses. So his kind. Yeah.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
So it's his work kind of ranges the gambit, and that's what made it interesting me to work with him. He wanted an architect because he was taking on more architectural projects, but we also did gallery installations in New York and in France. So he moved to Merida because he liked Merida. The studio really wasn't based on the city, but we also used the local craftsmen to produce a lot of work that got shipped overseas or got shipped to clients. So it was kind of an interesting thing to be in the city, but the city wasn't the reason for the work. It was just kind of a good backdrop to create.
Oh, that's awesome! Because there's a wonderful craftsman in Yucatan and in the Merida area, and it sounds like working for someone who's into design and installations and everything that it in interiors, that it would kind of dovetail very nicely into the architectural world and your passion.
For sure. I mean, it was a great experience because coming from LA, everything was super digital, and you can just send files and get it done. When we were in Merida, things were more hands-on, so I would be in the actual wood shop with the craftsmen and just kind of translating things from my technology to how they actually make it by hand. And so it was a good combination of analog and digital and just seeing how far you can push it.
That's incredible. That's awesome. And it's great. I think people don't realize how many craftsmen we have here. A lot of times, there's always the women who are making hammocks and things, but in the state of Yucatan, there's a lot of great craftsmen making everything from furniture to some of the beautiful tiles people see on floors, both in the colonial buildings in Merida, but more and more there's I don't know, from my where I sit, I should say, is that I've seen more and more of those, those beautiful tiles that are created in Yucatan now making a comeback and being used in some of the newer properties as well.
Yeah, we made them a lot. So, I mean, that was even just a great thing because those tiles are handmade. So we make a design or a concept on a computer and we send it to them, and then they actually make the formwork for the tile by hand. They pour them by hand. So it's a very labor-intensive process. But it's pretty amazing to go into old colonial houses and see that's one of the last things that still survived. So it's a very delicate process, but it's worth the work that they put into it.
That's really cool because I have a thing for history and some of the culture in that's in Merida, like the craftsmen and everything. So that's really super neat. Let me ask you, how do you find now living in Tulum and that do you find opportunity? I mean, we know Tulum is growing. Have you been able to find enough opportunity to keep your business at a growing level? Have you found a lot of people who are excited about building? And I know also in Tulum, we see more modern type buildings than you would see in, say, Valladolid or Merida. Right.
Well, I think the company is really new, so I've been trying to be patient with it myself. But yeah, I do meet people. And the thing about Tulum, you have to just go out and meet people. There's not some way just to market and sit back and wait till clients come to you. I've met people on the beach or just at a coffee shop, and we get to talk, and I say I'm an architect. They say they just bought land, and it's kind of a very organic relationship. So yeah, I'm in talks with people, but the architecture moves kind of slow, unfortunately. So it's always about a conversation and getting the conversation started. And being that Tulum is such a friendly place, it's really easy to get that conversation started. So I've just been kind of going day to day and taking what comes. But the business is growing. But like I said, it's very new, so I'm just real cognizant of that and just being patient with it.
Oh, well, it's great. And we're happy to have you on the show because it's, a lot of the people that we speak to have established businesses because we've, people like Loco Gringo, we've been around for tons of years. And it's great to see a lot of people coming in that, people are coming in and making opportunities for themselves as the area grows, and that they're finding a place for their boutique business such as yours. So that it's a wonderful opportunity.
It is, and I mean, I honestly this wasn't the vision. First, I never thought I would end up in Mexico, but then I just ended up here. And then I thought when I was here, I would just become more of a designer. Then I got into construction. So, like I said, I had my plans, but things have been going better than I planned. So I'm just stopping planning so much and kind of going with the flow.
Well, going with the flow. That's all part of the vibe with Tulum, right? That's part of the attraction.
Sure. Yeah, it is.
Well, let me ask you this. Now, since you've been to Merida, you've been to Tulum, and you've traveled around New York and France and everything, what is there, or is there a special place, just in Mexico that really that you have a passion for? I mean, you're in Tulum, and I'm in the Akumal area and love it as well. But there's some other places like for me, San Miguel Allende still pulls my heartstrings. Are there any places in Mexico that you've been to that still pull your heartstrings? And you go, oh man, I could set up camp here. I really like it that much, and it's worth spending some time at.
Well, Chiapas for sure. I went maybe 2 years ago to a retreat in the mountains, and just it was so different from Merida. Merida is really flat. Tulum is really flat, and then you go to Chiapas, and you're going around the mountain for 3 hours and elevating. And it was just pretty incredible just to see the landscape, the waterfalls. It's such a diversity of ecosystems there, and it was just a very different experience. So it's definitely somewhere I would want to go back again, time permitting, and in the summertime. I went in the winter and it was freezing cold, colder than Ohio, but it was worth it.
I can't imagine colder than Ohio, really.
I was in the mountains, so it was kind of the mountains in December. It gets really cold up there, and I didn't have any winter clothes. I had like beach stuff, so it was a combination of things.
That's why that's why we're all in the Yucatan Peninsula come the winter, because it's the best place to escape the cold weather up north, and apparently in Chiapas as well.
For sure.
So I ask everybody who I talk to about their secret spots, their hidden gems. We all have those places where, we want to get away from tour buses and the masses, whether it's to go grab a taco or to go for a swim and that. Do you have any little secret spots that people should check out, whether they're people who are looking to really have a unique local experience that they should visit while they're here?
Giving away my secrets. Oh no.
Yes,
sure.
That's the whole that's why I get all these people on here. They don't realize I have a motive. It's to get the secrets.
All right. So on the beach road, it's Uno Astro Lodge. It's this nice little boutique hotel, and they have cabanas. But one of my favorite things there is that they have a tower that you can go up and watch the sunset. And you go up maybe 3 stories in the middle of the jungle, and you can see clear across it over to the lagoon, and just watching the sunset there. It's kind of it's breathtaking, and it's like it's free. You just walk into the hotel, climb the tower, and it's just something that's it always reminds me what I'm here for. It's like I'm here for the fantasy of it. So, no matter what's happening in the city or with the business, when you go up that tower and you watch, the landscape, it brings you back to the sense of things. And whenever people come, I always take them there, and that's the best thing they do, no matter if we go to the clubs or we go wherever we go. But when you just take them to the top and see the real nature of Tulum, it's kind of overwhelming. So that's definitely one of the spots. And then in the city, it's a new place called Tulum Art Club. It's kind of a gallery/coffee shop. And it's just, it has more of a younger vibe to it, and it has a lot of Mexican artists there, and they put on different shows and different events throughout the week. So it's kind of a good place to go to get off the beaten path. It's Mexican, but it's not the tourism that you usually expect. It's more of the cultural sense of Mexico.
No, it's a beautiful place. I was there not too long ago, and I was really excited because it's kind of it's a very unique place right now in Tulum.
Yeah, it's something totally different, and it's like it's just mixing the generations. So it does have that old world Mexican heritage feel to it, but it also showcases the younger artists who are coming up from Mexico City and the different cities around Mexico. So it's a great place to kind of get acclimated with what else is going on in Mexico beyond what you see in the Riviera Maya.
For sure. Okay, and then you got another one for me. I'm loving this because you're the first person. Both of these places, and I've heard of the Tulum Art Club. I've never heard of the Uno Astro Lodge and their watchtower. And these are you're talking about some places that even some of our diehard people haven't mentioned yet. So I'm waiting for number 3. What do you got for me?
Number 3? Oh, I don't know. I like to walk a lot, so I just like to walk around maybe an hour or two. It's a good thing for me to do just to kind of process ideas and design. So a lot of times when I go to the beach, I'll walk to the beach. And if you walk to the beach maybe at 5 o'clock in the morning where there's no cars out and you're walking on that kind of main stretch towards the ruins, it's another magical space because you walk and then all of a sudden you look back, you can't see the street. You look forward, you can't see anything. All you can see is the trees, the jungle on either side of you, and the stars above because it's still morning. So it's one of those, you got to catch it at the right time. If you do, then you'll know why Tulum is so magical.
Oh, I
So
know, absolutely.
I'm always looking for that magic. It's not necessarily about a place, more so about catching the right time, the right vibe, so.
No, I think, the magic is definitely, I have not been able to find another word about the Riviera Maya. I've been saying it since 1992. It's the magic, find the magic's here.
Mm-hmm.
And it truly is. It absolutely is. And a lot of it's in nature with the
Right.
stars and jungle and sea. So one curiosity, because you live in Tulum, and, so I know a lot of our listeners in that are always hesitant on where to go out at night, in terms of they want live music and is it going to be good? And, the Tulum Beach Road, sometimes the traffic's it can be a little crazy come high season or, New Year's week. Do you have a recommendation for a great place for maybe some live music in town during the week?
Well, I'm more of a deep house and techno, so I like the craziness. So generally, I'm going to Papaya Playa to hear the different DJs that are coming in and out of town.
Mm-hmm.
As far as live music, I really can't give you any advice on that. Like I said, I'm more into electronic music, so I like when the festival season comes and it gets wild and crazy. That's kind of my flow. So. Yeah.
Well, no, that's okay. The only reason I mentioned, because I know I have walked by some places at night in the Pueblo that have had bands up on the second floor. I'm like, oh wow, this is really cool. Where besides Papaya Playa, are there some other great places for dancing in the techno? I know that Mezzanine used to have parties. I don't know if they're still having full moon parties.
Well, I know in the main town you have Los Santos, so I mean that's a great place to go for to party. And then there's a new place called Damawana, and it's kind of a mezcal bar, but they go until maybe 4 or 5 in the morning. So that's another great spot, and it's right off the main road, so you can't miss it. And then on the beach road you have Casa Jaguar. That's another great spot. So yeah, it's a little pockets here and there, but it goes pretty long, so you can always find some music until about 5 a.m. or until you drop.
Wow. So I think for me it would work out better because I'm one of those morning people. I could catch like the last songs in the morning before I go to the gym in Tulum to work out.
You can do that. I mean, there's always the after party in some hidden location, so you can kind of find where that goes. But like I said, it's all about talking to people in Tulum. Like, even if you live here, you still got to talk to people to know where the other places are, because there's always new places popping up. There's a new place on the beach road called Eden, and it's like kind of it's something different, but you got to find it. So it's kind of like a soiree type thing, but it's an interesting concept. But like I said, you got to talk to people to know when it's open and what's going on. So it's good to make friends here.
Have you tried the movie theater on the south side of town? Zine? Is it Zine?
Zine. I've walked past it a few times, but I've never went in it. So I can't say I have.
You have to go. For our listeners, Zine is located, if you're going to take 307, you're going to be just about out of the Tulum Pueblo. And of course, there's no street signs. It's a right turn. You follow some roads around. The best way to get directions is go to Zine's Facebook page. It's ZINE. You need reservations, but what they have is little bungalows in the jungle, and they have a menu of movies. And they have a dinner menu. So it's almost like a dinner theater. So you pick out your movie, you pick out your dinner menu, and you're in your own private jungle cabana with like nice wooden lounge chairs and everything. And you get to watch your movie on a big screen, and they deliver dinner and drinks to you. And I thought it was super cool. Really super cool. It's worth checking out.
Is it multiple screens in there, or is it all... How does it work out? Well, let's say each couple or each family, whoever wants to go, there's several. I think there's like 4 or half dozen different bungalows. Mm-hmm. So that's why they have reservations, and I think they start at like 5, or they have a couple different seatings. So you have to make a reservation, and so there'll be 6 movies going on for those parties, and then the next showing comes up, and those people come in for dinner and whatever movie they want to watch. Okay,
it's a great.
Check it out.
It's really super cool, and I haven't written a blog post about it, but I was blown away because it's just so hip and cool, and it's in the middle of the jungle.
Right, because I've walked past it a couple of times on my little journeys, and I just thought, oh, this looks interesting, but I never tried it out. But now that you say it, I'll have to check it out.
No, definitely. Some people from Mexico City started it, and they also, now at the time it wasn't open, but they were working on doing a rooftop bar as well. So it'd be really cool to go, you could go and have a drink before the movie and then go see the movie and then go back up to the roof and have a cocktail. But super cool. And it's, and I'll have a link on our show notes over to that for their Facebook page. Because that's super fun for people to explore along with all the great places that you gave us. So Ryan, if people want to get in touch with you, where's the best place if they're interested in building a house or getting some input or starting a conversation with you on what you do and your passion for Tulum and architecture? How can they reach you?
They can reach me at my website, Ryan at CaribbeanLuxuryBuilders.com. That's RYAN at CaribbeanLuxuryBuilders.com. And yeah, I mean, whether you want to build a house or whether you want to just know about Tulum, I'm open to all questions. So just reach out to me and we can go from there.
Oh, super. What we'll also do for people who want Ryan's contact information, a link over to his website, is just go to our website, locogringo.com/podcasts. We'll have today's show notes, so you have links to all the great places that Ryan's talked about, Ryan's email address, his website, and everything. And of course, if you can't track Ryan down for some reason, you can always contact me, askkay@locogringo.com, and I can hook you up with Ryan, and he can give you all sorts of insights on Tulum and some really cool things to do and see and to build. So I look forward to it. Ryan, I want to thank you so much for your time today and giving us your insights in Tulum. I think it was all awesome. And maybe if you're interested in coming back sometime, you can give us some of your favorite spots in Merida.
For sure. I appreciate the opportunity to share. And I love what you guys are doing over at Local Gringo. So Thank you.
Thank you. I want to give a big muchas gracias to Ryan for his time today. It was great talking to him and learning about some of the cool spots he knows about in Tulum. And a big thanks to all of you for tuning in today. If you'd like today's show notes, please go to our website, locogringo.com/podcasts. If you can't track down Ryan for some reason, or you're looking for some more information or have someone you might want to recommend that we chat with, please drop me an email, askkay@locogringo.com. Well, everyone, until next week, hasta la vista.
Thanks for listening. If you like the show, be sure to subscribe. For links, show notes, and more information, head on over to locogringo.com or give us a call toll-free at 800-478-0081.
Porque se tragó la luna, estaba enferma la rana. Su madre soba que soba, dedos de pluma la panza. Pensó ranita que luna era una toronja blanca. Y aunque la luna es de leche, la leche estaba cortada. Croa, croa, dedos de pluma. Croa, croa, dedos de agua. Croa, croa, dedos de pluma, croa, croa.